How are you doing, everybody, wherever you are? Welcome to our today's news from German. Be with us. Ethiopia new diplomacy connecting world through the environment in green legacy. For decades, diplomacy among nations has been conducted through formal meetings, agreements, and official declaration. Today, however, the world is beginning to learn a new language of diplomacy, one whose alphabet is the leaves of trees and whose message is written into the earth through the planting of seedlings. Through the Green Legacy Initiative, Ethiopia has introduced a new approach that links environmental conservation with diplomacy known as eco-diplomacy. This initiative demonstrates that a new nation's message can be conveyed not only through words but also through actions that leaves a lasting impact. In previous year, high-level leaders and international visitors concluded their visits to Ethiopia with diplomatic discussions and signed agreements. Today, many of those visitors conclude their trips by planting a tree, a green symbol of friendship, peace, solidarity, and shared responsibility for protecting the environment. In recent years, government leaders, religious leaders, artists, scholars, students, and ordinary citizens have participated annually in Green Legacy Initiative. The involvement has transformed it from a government-led project into a national-wide civic tradition, demonstrating that environmental conservation is a shared responsibility for everyone. Beyond protecting the environment, Green Legacy has evolved into a powerful instrument of soft power of Ethiopia. It illustrates that a nation's influence is built not only through economic and military strength, but also through its commitment to environmental stewardship, climate action, and principles of human dignity and global responsibility. Through this experience, Ethiopia has been sharing its knowledge and expertise with other nations in the field of sustainable development and environmental conservation. Today, Green Legacy is no longer just a tree planting company. It has become a people's movement dedicated to protecting the climate, conserving water resources, restoring degraded land, and contributing to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Visitors to Ethiopia live with more than memories of diplomatic discussions. They also leave behind a living legacy through tree planting. This demonstrates that beyond every seedlings planted, an idea has been planted. Beyond every tree that grows, a relationship flourish, and beyond today, the well-being of future generations is being envisioned. Green Legacy has become a new pillar of diplomacy, one that ties people, the environment, and the future of our world. Ethiopian spearheading region peace and stability effort, Defense Logistics Main Department head said. Ethiopia continues to play a leading role in countering terrorism and safeguarding peace and stability across the region, Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Ismail said. The statement was made during the official opening of the 2026 Africa Logistics and Communication Symposium today in Finfinne. Co-hosted by Ethiopian and United States Africa Command, AFRICOM, the 5-day symposium runs through July 31, 2026. LC26 marks a historical milestone as the first combined execution of two major continental defense forums, the African Logistics Conference and African Endeavor, convening under the theme Forging Partnership, Driving Innovation and Enhancing Collective Readiness. The symposium brings together defense leaders, frontline logisticians, and communications experts from nearly 40 African partner nations alongside international defense stakeholders. Addressing the assembly, Lieutenant General Abdurrahman emphasized that Ethiopia's commitment to regional and global security remains deeply historical and enduring, with the nation consistently maintaining a forefront position in counter-terrorism and peacekeeping operations. He noted that by building and maintaining robust operation, logistic, and secure communication network, Ethiopia has repeatedly executed critical missions that safeguard stability across volatile regional corridors, highlighting that modern mission success relies heavily on construction, defense, infrastructure. Lieutenant General Abdurrahman stressed the importance of continuously modernized communication networks and logistics systems to match contemporary security demands. Dignitarians attending the symposiums, including Defense Ministers Aisha Mohammed, commanded of U.S. African Command General Dagvin Anderson, and U.S. Ambassador to Ethiopian Ervin Masinga, alongside senior military delegation and defense chiefs from across the continent. Over the course of the event, participants will hold specialized working sessions and engage with the technology providers in joint industries exhibiting halls to address capability gaps, accelerate practical technological solutions, and advance strategical defense cooperation throughout Africa. The joint platform offers an essential opportunity for African defense institutions to advise modern strategies for resolving operation and deployment challenges in field missions. Africa Logistics and Communications Symposium opens in Ethiopia to strengthen partnership. The 2026 Africa Logistics and Communications Symposium has opened in Finfine, bringing together military leaders, defense experts, and industry partnership. The symposium aimed at strengthening partnerships, sharing best practice, and reaffirming commitment to building more connected, resilient, and future-ready institutions across Africa. Opening the symposium, Ethiopian Defense Minister Asha Mohammed says the forum provides a crucial platform for collaboration and innovation at a time when Africa faces increasingly complex security challenges. She said that logistic and secure interoperable communication are strategic enablers that underpin operation readiness, effective coordination, and the ability to respond swiftly during times of crisis. She stressed that the symposium should be beyond addressing immediate challenge and encourage participants to jointly consider the strategic capability Africa will need in the future. Minister Asha also said Ethiopia's hosting of the symposium reflecting growing mutual trust and partnership between Ethiopia and the United States, describing bilateral relations as having reached a two-way strategic level. Against the backdrop of increasingly complex security conditions across the continent, she emphasized the need to build resilient logistic systems and secure communications network capable of supporting effective coordination and rapid response. U.S. Ambassador to Ethiopia Edwin Mazinga, for his part, said Ethiopia's historical and strategic importance have contributed significantly to regional and continental progress, commanding the leadership of the Ethiopian Defense Force for co-hosting the symposium. Logistics and communication may not always make headlines, but they determine outcomes, Ambassador Mazinga added. Without reliable logistic and secure communication, he noted readiness declines, coordination breakdown, and operation can ultimately stall. He described the symposium as a practical forum focused on addressing real-world challenges. The ambassador stressed the need to prioritize addressing key logistical and communication challenges, including ensuring the efficient movement of personnel and materials, strengthening maintenance and supply chains, improving inventory management, reducing waste, enhancing interoperability among forces, and protecting the communication architectures underpinning modern operation. The 2026 Africa Logistics and Communication Symposium is expected to provide a platform for experience sharing and strategic cooperation among African countries, international partners, and defense industries as the continent seeks to strengthen its institutional and operation capacity for future challenges. Iran Foreign Minister spokesman Ismail Baghei has said that there are currently no negotiations taking place between Iran and the United States. Speaking at a press conference, Baghei dismissed reports claiming that Iran had requested talks with Washington, describing them as a fabricated story. Speaking at a press conference, Baghei dismissed reports claiming that Iran had requested talks with Washington, describing them as a fabricated story and a media misinformation. He said that while the United States continued, that he described acts as acts of aggression and military attacks against Iran. Tehran's priority remains defending itself. However, he noted that mediators may convey a message from the U.S. regarding the current regional situation. Addressing the issue of the half in U.S. attacks, Baghei stated. He also stressed that the current situation cannot be described as a ceasefire. According to Baghei, conditions have become calmer in recent days due to the strategy of Iran's armed force. He warned that any new actions by the United States will be met with a strong response from Iran. During the press conference, Baghei also said that the straits of Hormuz remain closed. Commenting to Ukraine's reported attack on a vessel in Caspian Seas, he claimed that the incident recalls the actions of extremist militants before the First World War. He described Ukraine's actions as illegal and unjustified, emphasizing that it would not go unanswered. The Israeli military says it intercepted 2 drones near the border with Jordan and it's continued to investigate where they originated. In a system, the military said the drones did not enter Israel's airspace. About 10 days ago, Israel announced that he had intercepted a missile launch towards the port of Aqaba with assistance of Jordania's force. The port is located approximately 5 kilometers from Israel's port of Elated. At the time, the Israeli military claims that they was linked to Iran and warned that such attacks will lead to the conflict spreading into the Israel territory. That's all for today. Thank you very much for you to be with us. Bye bye wherever you are.